Hey makers, this is Thruveen and I come up with another step-by-step tutorial series. This tutorial series is all about Power Apps component. So I have divided this entire series into 3 different parts. In the first episode, we will be talking about how we can get started with the Power Apps component. Then in the second episode, we will talk about how we can use the behavior property in the best appropriate manner with Power Apps component. And in the third and the last part, we will be talking about how we can create reusable functions using Power Apps component. So stay tuned with me throughout this entire session series. So without further delay, let's get started and talk about how we can create our first Power Apps component. Also, one more important thing, at the end of each video we will play one quiz and one lucky winner will get a shout out and the appreciation of certificate from my end. So play the quiz and answer in the comment section. Also, if you haven't followed me on Instagram and Twitter so far, do follow me. The Instagram and Twitter ID is available here or maybe in the description box. So without further delay, let's get started and talk about Power Apps component in detail with me. Here I am on my machine and here I have opened my Power Apps. First of all, let me try to explain you what do we mean by components. A component is a reusable building block which saves lots of time of developers. Also, it is more performant in terms of performance optimization. Now, let me talk about that thing with the help of example. Let's say for an example, you are building one Power Apps and you want to build this kind of pop-up. Now, how you are creating a pop-up with the traditional approach? To create the pop-up, basically you are taking this type of rectangle and after that you are taking up some label control and some button control. So one rectangle, two labels and two buttons are used to build one pop-up. Now what are you doing here is, like, let's say in your app you have 10 different screens. So 10 into 5, 50 different elements will be placed on your screen and those are the duplication of the code. Also, this is something which is difficult to maintain. So let's say for an example, if I changing some colors from my button, so basically for the consistency I need to update that into all 10 pages. Now using this component we can make this work very easy. We can create this type of configurable component on our page and which is very easy to maintain and we can easily consume it into one or more Power Apps as well. So this is one use case. Second important use case is, like, let's say you are implementing some kind of left navigation. So to create the left navigation, basically we are using the gallery control. Now with the traditional approach you are placing the gallery control on each individual screen. So instead of doing that, you can build this type of component for your left navigation and basically which will accept any type of data input from the user and according to that the menu item will be bind there and when we click the appropriate item it will print us that what item we have selected from the gallery, right? And the third important use case is, like, let's say for an example in your organization you are building some type of calculation. So let's say for an example I want to calculate some tax based on amount. So let's say for an example here I am entering some type of amount 5000. Now I want to calculate 5% of tax from the base amount. So when I click on that, what it will do is it will give me that for this particular amount tax will be 250. So this type of common calculation we can build with the help of component and we can create one component library in order to achieve all of these things. Now I have divided this entire video into 3 different parts. So in the first part I am going to show you what are the different way in order to develop Power Apps component. Then in the second part we will be building this kind of pop-up which will explain you the behavior property to create the custom event. And in the third part we will talk about how we can create this type of reusable function with the component. So stay tuned for all 3 episodes with me. Now let's get started and talk about how we can get started and create our first component into Canvas app. So without further delay, let me create new Power Apps and show you that thing in detail. So for the first demo and the first episode, we will create one left navigation and we will check that how it will look like. Also, I will explain two ways to create this component, and I will also suggest you which is the recommended way in order to create the component. So stay tuned. If you want to create the component, there are two ways to create the component. One is using component library and another is using app section. App section means you simply need to create a new Canvas app and you can create your component inside your Canvas app. And second approach is that you need to click on this component library and click on new component library. In this episode, I am going to use both the method as well as I compare one method with the another method to show you the differences in between those two methods. So now let's get started and create a new Canvas app. So I'm just clicking on new app and clicking on Canvas and just provide the name of your Canvas app. So I'm providing the name of my Canvas app is YT Canvas component. This is the component that we are going to create inside the Canvas app. The Canvas app has been created. Now you can see here the component section. Click on that and over here we will create our component. So to create the component, click on this new component and that will add one component over here. Now let's just rename this component. So double click on that and provide the name of your component. So I am just providing the name of my component is CMP menu bar from Canvas. So I am just providing the name as CMP menu bar Canvas. Now over here we need to create menu bar. For that we will simply add one gallery control. So let's add one vertical gallery over here. Now from layout select the title. So this will look like this. Now over here we need to take the input from our end users. For that just click on your component and over here you need to create a new custom property. So just click on custom property. Over here the property types are input and output. Input means if we want anything from the end user and output means whenever we are playing our component what output it will return to us. So let's see how it will look like. Now the first we will need to create input property that will accept the values for my menu item. So first of all provide the name over here. So I am just providing name here as menu item. And you can provide the description of your property as well and data type. So data type will be table because I want to pass the multiple items and click on create. So that will create one input property. Now we need to provide the sample data over here. So click on this menu item and over here by default this table is created. Now let's remove that and let's add our own custom table. So I'm just creating a table with 4 menu items like this: home, admin, about and help. So let's keep that. So I just provided this input over here and now I need to define one output property. So whatever the item that is being selected, I need that as an output. So I will define one output property and for that let's provide the name of the output property as selected item. You can provide any name whatever you like and over here let's select the type as output and data type as text and just click on create. So that is how we are defining our output property. Now select your gallery control and now over here we need to provide the input. So in items let's provide our input and to provide the input first we need to type the name of our component. So that is CMP menu bar Canvas and after that you need to type dot and whatever the input property that you have defined, that is menu item, right? So it will show the records like this, right? Now similar way we need the output from our gallery. For that select your component and then click on selected item and over here just remove this text and instead of that just provide gallery selected item. So gallery 1 dot selected dot item, right? So that is how we will get our output property. So hope so far you are good with me. We have defined one input and one output property. Now let's define one thing. Whatever the item that is being selected from this gallery, I want to highlight that. For that, what I need to do here is I need to write the template fill property. So select the gallery, go to the property section, and from here let's select template fill. So over here I'm selecting template fill property, and let's provide the condition. If this item dot selected, then color dot light cyan, otherwise color dot white, right? So that is done. Now let's just decrease the width of this gallery as well as this canvas component. So I'm just selecting this and just decrease the width as 306, and after that I'm selecting this component and reducing the width as 306. So this is looking nicer, and now what I need to do here is I simply need to add this particular component into our page. So this is how we have created our first component inside the Canvas app itself, right? Now to consume the component, what you need to do here is go to the screen and go to the custom section from here, and you can see this is the component that you just created. So add that component on your page and that will look nicer like this. Now let's say you don't need this out of the box menu item, you need to change that. So for that you need to click on this menu item to provide the input, and that will show you this default code. Now let's say here I just wanted to change that. Let's say my menu name should be Power Apps, then I can easily change it. Or let's say I just wanted to add one more additional item over here, so I can add a comma and need to add one more item over here, like let's say I want to have Power Apps 2, right? So this will looking like this, and now let's play that and let's print the selected item from here. So let me just take the label control and let me just get the output property from the component. So I just added this label, and now let me just print. So this is the component, its ID is this one. So let's copy the component ID, and whatever the output property that we have defined, that is selected item. So you can see when I play, let's say I'm selecting Power Apps, so it is giving me the value of this. I'm selecting about, then it will provide the value, and for this one it is providing me the value like this. So this is how you can simply create your first Power Apps component with input and output property from the Canvas app itself. So this is looking really cool, right? Now let me talk about another method to create the Power Apps component. The another way to create the Power Apps component is using the component library. Now to create the component library, you need to go to the app section and click on this component libraries. This is in preview at this moment, and from here you simply need to click on new component library. So this is one centralized place where your components are placed. And now let me just provide the name of my component library as YT components, and let me just click on create. So this has created one component library for me. Now let me talk about what is the main difference between the component library and Canvas apps component. Now let's say for an example, component library provides us the mechanism to create the component centrally. Now let's say you have 10 different apps in the organization and you want to use the same component. At that time, this component library approach will help you a lot. So what happen here is, if you are making any changes to the component, it will automatically reflected to each individual app. Otherwise, what happen here is, if you go with the Canvas app component, obviously you can use that to the multiple apps. But what happen here is, if you wanted to make change, you need to open the app manually and need to change in each individual app. So that is tedious and time consuming. So I always recommend everyone to create the component with independent component library. So always use this particular approach. Now over here this component library as well, we have the screen tab. It is just for the testing purpose, it's not for the real development purpose. So remember that thing. Now let me just go to the component and let me create the same menu component over here. The menu component creation process is exact same. We are going to same create one input and one output property, as well as going to use same width property. So I'm not going to repeat that process again. I'm creating over here in a fast forward manner, and then I will show you how we can use that into our Canvas app. So over here I have created the same menu component. I took one gallery, I defined one input property, menu item, and one output property, selected item, and the component name is CMP menu component. Now in order to use this component into my Canvas app, basically I need to publish this component. So just go to the file and save this component. So when you are saving for the first time, it is published automatically. So let me just save this particular component library and we are good. Now as a next step, let me compare one thing side by side. What is the another main difference in terms of property when you are going with Canvas component approach versus independent component library approach? So over here, this is my Canvas app and this is the component that we have created. Now over here you can see one option, that is access app scope. This is something which is only available for the Canvas app. While in terms of independent component library, you are not able to see this option. What is the main reason? Let me talk about that. Sometimes, let's say for an example, you have a requirement where you are defining some collections or some global variables inside your Canvas app itself. Now you want to use that particular context variables into your component library. At that time you can use this access app scope over here. In case of independent component library, you don't have that option. The reason is that in independent library you don't have any global variables or any global collections. Everything you are defining here is in context of components only. Also, another important difference is that, let's say for an example, you have a requirement that you are developing this menu component. This is common into 10 apps, but in one of the apps you want to customize this component. In order to do that, it also provides you the option allow customization into component library, which means that whenever you are adding that component, you can edit that component in local app, meaning it will work as this particular Canvas component. Now let me talk about that thing in detail. So we published our independent component. Now it's time to consume our component into Canvas app. So we are going to in this particular Canvas app, and now let me create a new screen, and on the new screen we will use our component. So for that, click on insert and click on get more component. Over here you are able to see all the components that you have created. So this is the component library that we just created. So let's add this CMP menu component and click on import. Once you import that, this will create one more option called library component and add your component over here. And now let's drag this component over here, right? And when you are creating your Canvas app component, basically it will appear into this custom section. So this is the another main difference. Now let's configure its property. So let's go here and let's click on this menu item, and over here let's say I just wanted to change this help menu with component library. So let me just change that, and same way on the label we can print the value. So we change this particular thing over here, and you can see this component will appear over here. So component library, that is something we have added, right? And now what I need to do here is I need to take a label and let's print the value. So whatever the name of this component is, let's take that and let's print that thing over here. Dot selected item, right? So what happen here is if I select this, you can see it will print me component library. So this is how you can use the component from your independent component library. Now let me talk about one more important thing about sharing this component library. So to share the component library, you simply need to go to the file and click on share. And same like Canvas app, you can share that with the other developers of your organization, right? So simply you need to click on share and you can share that with the another user. Now in order to consume the component, you don't need to share that, but if another developer want to use while developing, only at that time you need to share the component library. So remember that thing. Now another main important thing that I want to discuss about how you can make the updates for the changes. So let's say for an example, the main difference as I talked between the independent component library as well as Canvas component. What is the difference? So let's say for an example, from your screen you have added this component, right? Now you want to customize this component. So over here, if you click on that, you will have an option called edit component. And once you click on edit component, it will make the local copy inside this particular app. And when you create the local copy over here, which means that the context with respect to the independent component library is cut off, meaning any update that you are doing into that app will now not reflect over here. Basically, it is simply making a copy of your component which you can customize over here. So remember one thing about that. Now let's say for an example, what happen if I make any changes to my component library. So let's say for an example, this is my component library, and now what I'm doing here is I'm just making the code into this one. So instead of this light cyan color, basically I'm just having yellow color, right? And now my change has been done. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to save and publish, and let me just make a comment here that change color, right? And now let's save and publish my component. Publish, and we are good. Now what happen here is whenever you are opening your Canvas app in the edit mode, it will show you for the update. Also manually you can do one more thing, that let's say for an example, you simply need to go to this insert menu and just need to click on this ellipsis and click for check for updates. So what happened here is you can see that change color has been done in one of the component. So basically it will update that and you are able to see the reflection over here like this. So this is how you can make the update from your component. And let's see if you don't need manual update, and when you close the app and reopen it again, it will automatically show you for the update. So this is how you can create your first Power Apps component using component library as well as Canvas apps component. Hope you are good with me so far and you got to know the difference in between these two approaches and what is the best recommended approach, that is creating the independent component library. Hope this video values your time, and now in the next session I am going to talk about how we can create the behavior property with the Canvas component. So stay tuned with me to the next session. Now it's time for quiz. You need to answer in the comment section only. If you wanted to answer question 1, you need to type Q1, then option A, B, C or D. You need to type like that. And one lucky winner will get a certificate of appreciation as well as shout out from my YouTube and Instagram page. So let's get started. The first question over here is, what is the recommended way to create the components? Option A, using component library. Option B, using Canvas app. Option C, both, and option D, none of above. Now question 2. We can use global and collection variables in the independent component library. Is this statement true or false? Option A true and option B false. So keep answer in the comment section. With this, I covered everything about the basic Power-Ups component creation process as well as input and output variable. If you are for the first time to my channel, make sure you hit subscribe and press the bell notification to never miss any updates from me. If you are looking for training or consultancy, here is the website link. If you are looking to follow me on all my social media handles, this is the link. If you wanted to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, this is the link. And if you wanted to listen audio podcast, then this is my podcast channel. Also, if you are looking for Hindi content and short content on Power Platform, there is a separate channel called Digital Dhruvin. Subscribe that channel and show your love over there as well. With this is Dhruvin signing off. See you in the next session with some amazing content. Till then, have a great day. Goodbye.